Dr. Mona Ladies, my name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Bloom, whom had an uncle, or should I say crazy uncle. So, it's been a while, so I'm kind of rusty of making these videos. And sorry for the not uploading often because sometimes there's a lot of my mind had to go through something and I used like Chat GPT to come up with some crazy ideas. Like basically what I mean is basically needed it to like do some reactions and yeah, stuff like that. But now with that out of the way, let's jump right in. And no one cares about that. Now, let's jump right into it. So, let's begin. It's going to be a lot of words, so please just hang out with me until. Okay, so first, at the beginning of the story, there was this uncle, Bloom, Uncle Loom. Uncle Loom is a good person. He's a mortal. He has been born without rare powers of infinity and zero. So he's also lives a long time. The picture that I show you is what he looks like. So his relationship to the king, aka Bloom's father, was that they were both brothers. And so, yeah, then, so his brother asked him to take care of these three crazy witches. Or should I say, witches that were plotting something evil. So he goes in. He took care of all the witches. But when he got back, it only took a couple of years. But when he came back, then he sees his kingdom got destroyed. And he was actually so his brother's kid's favorite uncle, aka Bloom and yeah. So, but yeah, when he realized that he thought they were dead. But then, so he started a new family with a girl, or should I say a woman, that was the same age as him. And they both had two twins. One girl and one boy. Yeah, so he goes, when he's out in public, he always wears a mask to reveal, or to hide his true emotions. And so one day, he was dropping off his daughter, and he sees this, or sees Bloom. And his first thought was, that girl looks familiar about some, or reminds me of someone. So then she ends up basically trying to recognize him too, but him. And so then after school, they go back home. He goes to pick up his daughter and his son. So then he looks over and he notices the principal of his daughter's school. You know which one I'm talking about. Her. And when they both made eye contact, then she realized who he was. As she still calls him like Uncle Sloom or Sloom. As she says, "Hey, Uncle Sloom. It's been a long time, hasn't it?" "Yep, it has been." "How have you been? It's been a long time." "Yeah. I heard about what happened to the kingdom, but I can't believe that no one else except for you survived." As she says, "Well, oh, there's actually one other person, and she's still alive." And so then she ends up saying, "Your favorite nephew." I'm not cussing. It's the, like, how will I put this? It's the, trying to say nephew. It's like a siblings, basically. So, yeah. Your favorite sibling, Aaron, is still alive. Really? Yeah. You're trying to figure out who she is. Times really did change for you after all these years. Yeah. But it's been, she might not recognize me who I am. Come on. You're still her favorite. It's just she might not remember who you are, but but I'll tell her. And she says that to him. But at Bloom's base, or not, yeah. Sorry, I'm talking so fast. So Bloom ends up trying to figure out who he is. But then, truth be told, the next day, she got summoned to the principal's office. And when... Okay, what's all this about? Well, that masked man that you saw? Yeah. He's actually your uncle. You still have... sorry. You have a uncle that cares about you deeply. Really? That masked man is my uncle? What's his name? He's Slim. Uncle Slim. Wow. Really? And before we move on to the other parts, I'm only doing this just for a fun of it and getting some videos out. So, like, yeah. I hope that you guys will enjoy this little, like, fairy tale thing. And the reason why I'm doing this one is because I'm more of a little bit laid back and taking a break from what if Deku, what if stories. So, yeah. So, ready? So, let's continue. So, she's all excited to learn that her uncle, her favorite uncle, she remembered him because, yeah. So then the next day after that, he went to drop off his daughter on her. And Bloom walks over she actually saw him and she ran right up to him and hugged him as she says, "Hey, uncle, what's up?" You do remember me. It's been a long time, hasn't it, Bloom? It's good to see you. As Bloom's friends are confused, like, who is that guy? And his daughter's like, "Have you not figured it out? My dad is the uncle of Bloom." So, yeah. So then, yeah. She had to explain it, and they're like, "Holy crud. Wait, really?" As Sky, anyway, walks right up to him and shakes the guy's hand. I know who you are. You're also the Dan of the of that student. Yeah. How is he doing in school? I hope he's getting along with you. Yeah, he is. But man, he knows a trick or two. Yeah. I hope as he learns so much of different things. So yeah, they basically they were meeting. Hum. And yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not going to die that easily. And then the three witches came, Icy, Stormy, and the Dale, or whatever her name is, ends up attacking the school. As he says, no need, I'll take care of them. As he uses his powers. As he had dragon wings. As he takes off his mask. As he comes in full swing. And he defeats all three of them in a single slice. Like knocking them all out. Now, perfect cube. And then he sits down. Or no, he like stands. Like, that's interesting. These three witches are just beginners. Interesting. The ones that I faced was way more crazy and scary. But I dealt with them. As everybody's like, whoa, that's so cool. So, yeah. He knew what to do. His his daughter even knew. Like, So then so Bloom is like, man, I can't believe. And she's all happy. And a little bit surprised that even her uncle could even fight like that. As she flies around him, like, you're so cool. That's why as she remembered her her uncle being super cool. Like when her parents weren't around, he always been there for her. That's why he sees, or that's why everybody's like, you're so cool. And yeah. So the entire school that was watching him doing that, they all have respect for him. learning how to like use a sword and magic at the same time. So then at the boys' school, the Red Fountain School, the principal invited him to train the student to deal with a swordsman. Yeah. So then all the classes like attacks him out of training, first of all. And so he ends up knocking them all out. With swift moves. As he's like, you need to be a little bit faster to catch up with me. He has an invisible baseball bat that would not actually hurt as bad. Instead. So then, yeah. Everybody's like, man, that's so cool. And everybody's like, agrees. But the only one that was like dodged the attack was both his kids. Because they've been trained by him too, so they're like much more skilled. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it off as those moments. And sorry, I was just trying to pick my nail. So, yeah. So, in the next video that I will be doing is a custom card review. But I just wanted to do this as because I felt like it. And then tomorrow's what if is what if Deku was the Shadow Silent. And let me explain it before that day comes. And Shadow Silence is a custom monster hybrid thing. Mixed between the Silence and the Shadow Leviathan. Because long time ago, before most of the YouTube videos get deleted, there was a what if story called What If Deku Was the Gargantuan Leviathan. And it was like, it had tragic backstory, and it had like basically redemption thing where it also met a girl that was following him, and other stuff goes on. So if you guys remember that picture, I will, when I find the screenshot of what I'm talking about, please tell me what YouTuber it was. in that made this story, because I'm trying to remember. Because I think it was Ravenclaw, What If, or the Your Boy Ohms, or Oni. So, yeah. I'm trying to remember. So, yeah. And I hope that whoever did make that thumbnail thing, or make that entire thing, needs to re-upload it, because that is just too funny moments. So now, have a good night or day, depends on the time zones. Peace.